Okay, welcome back to another episode of Cream of the Country. We're at Morrinsville Sports Rugby Club here. Tonight we've got the privilege of interviewing Macca. Welcome along, Macca.
Thanks, Hardy.
And so Tony McLaren, for those that don't know, he's been a long-serving player, coach, administrator, and still coaching under 21s, so we just thought we'd spend a little bit of time getting to know Macca. So just a little bit about yourself, Macca, in relation to your work life. What do you, a lot of people know, but what do you sort of do within the community, and how did that get started and established?
Thanks, Hardy. Nice to be here. We've got a business, milking machines, water pumps, small engines, that my dad started 1980-ish. So I've been involved with that for a long time. He got crook, so I decided to come back. I'd been away overseas and up north. I was actually going to join the police, and have been accepted there. But then I came back and gave him a hand, and fuck, I'm still here. So So been doing that for a long time. Obviously, I was born around here, brought up here. Played footy as a young fella for Old Boys across the way, and went to school here.
You went to Morrinsville College?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, a little bit about your family. I know you're married to Jan,
yep.
And I know in her day she was like yourself, you're a very good sportsman, and she was a very good sportswoman, played a lot of netball, and you're both now involved, taking a lot of time up in coaching.
Older, tighter, slower.
Yeah.
So into coaching.
Yeah.
She does that. She does obviously a very good job with that. She's got the top Morrinsville team, I guess, Rangers.
Yeah.
And they're doing pretty well. Unless they've been beaten tonight, they haven't been beaten yet this year.
Cool. Awesome.
So, she's doing well with that. She has been coached. She had coached the college team for 10 years probably, but pulled the pin on that this year.
And then also a son as well?
Yeah, we've got a young fella who's 15 actually, just 15.
Brody?
Yeah. Brody, yeah. He, at the moment, is down at Tihoy with St Paul, so he's
awesome.
he's been down there about 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Learning how to kayak and rock climb and not shit himself.
and hopefully not use his phone or
there's no technology down there.
Yeah.
It's all bush. The first day they went down, it was beautiful, sunny. It was shorts and t-shirt weather.
Yeah.
The next 3 days they went on a hike for a camp, and it pissed down every single day.
So soaked.
So they were soaked.
Yeah. Does Brody play rugby, mate, or?
He's been playing up till this year. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So I've been involved with coaching him coaching his teams since he started, really.
Yeah.
Up to Gwyn Shield, then they go to college and the teachers take over, so that's kind of really handy.
Yeah. No, cool. Okay, your playing history. I know it's going to start from when Adam was a cowboy.
Yeah.
But if you can just tell us a little bit about your playing history.
Well, like I said, I started off with Old Boys over the way here. My dad took me down there when I was 5.
Yeah.
Played for them through till I was about 21 and left to go up to Auckland and up north. Played with some good old fellas. They're old fellas now. They weren't old then. They looked like they were old then. Kevin Pilkington, the Stewart brothers, the Fowler boys.
Yeah.
So some fairly hard men.
Those still all guys too that when they get the opportunity to still come down and watch Morrinsville Sports play and come and have a beer in the club rooms too. So that's fantastic. Yeah. So continuing on.
So after I left here, I went up and I got transferred to Auckland with work, and I played a season with College Rifles up there.
Yeah.
With Nicky Allen was playing that year, and the reason I went there was Pat Walsh was the coach that year as well.
Yeah.
So that was a bit of fun, interesting. But I only lasted a year there, and then I was shifted up north, up to Whangarei. So I went there in 1980 something.
Yeah.
1980 something. And loved it. Great place. Played with a lot of good footy players out there, and against a lot of footy players.
What club did you play for up there?
I played for Old Boys up there as well.
Yeah.
At that stage, when I turned up, Eddie Dunn was playing for us. We had number of Northland players, B players, Colts players. We were pretty fucking good, actually, really.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of good teams up there too, a lot of good players.
You played a little bit of rugby yourself while you were up there too, didn't you?
I got as far as the Northland second 15 B team development team. Played a few games for them over a couple of years. But not big enough, not tough enough. Too dumb.
You also had a bit of a stint overseas as well?
Yeah, while I was up there, I had the opportunity to go play a season in the States. So it was pretty cool up in Santa Barbara. A real different environment to here, and totally different sort of scene. So we would have there was no club rooms for the club I played for. Our club was a bar, and all the other clubs also had bars, and had a lot of travelling. The closest team that we played was in Los Angeles, which was an hour and a half south, and then we went as far north as Bakersfield, which I think is about 2.5 hours north. So boys would get up in the morning, travel up there. The A team would play first, the B team would play second, and it was fucking hot.
Yeah, I was going to say it would be pretty hot playing rugby over there.
Yeah.
Ground hard.
Very hard, very hard. But some amazing athletes. We had a couple of boys in our team that they wanted to keep fit for their not high school, but like they were at Polytech, whatever the Polytech is over there, community college I think they call it, and they wanted to keep fit for their American football, and they were at that time, one of them ran the 200 metres in a similar time to whatever the New Zealand record holder was. Man, there's some athletes over there. If they ever click onto it, they'll be a force to be reckoned with, all right?
And from there, where did you?
I came back to play a bit of footy here because I was fit and playing really well, and I broke my leg, so that was up for about a year, and then the year after that I got an opportunity to go to Scotland.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
So I went up to Glasgow, and
did you work when you were in Scotland? Or?
It was amateur days, Hardy, so yes I did, but I was also looked after pretty well by the club that brought us over there. Wasn't required to work, but I kind of felt they're paying me, I'm not going to sit on my ass and do nothing all day.
Did you, obviously the last name of McLaren, did you get it on a work visa or ancestry?
No, neither.
Neither?
Visitor.
Visitor
permit only. Yeah, all my ancestors are too far back. But great place, awesome place. I love Scotland.
And then back to Morrinsville?
That was a couple of weeks before I was due to fly out was when the old boy had his heart attack. So I kept in touch, and he wasn't getting any better, and the old girl was stressing out a bit as well. So thought I'd come back and help out, and hopefully probably sell the business, and I'd either go back and play footy or go into the police. But before I left and got a deferment from the police, the recruiting officer said, "Don't bother coming back and fuck your knees." And when I came back, I fucked my knees. So that put paid to that.
So I know you were playing at Old Boys up until amalgamation. You were captain in the side over there. I think you might have won the championship the year before amalgamation or something.
We did. Whatever division that was, I think it might have been.
How did you find initially coming across and amalgamating with the two teams and guys that you had traditionally been at war with on the rugby field? Now you're going to the bar with them. How was that in the early days?
That was no issue, mate, to be honest. Everyone that plays footy are good bastards. I've been lucky enough to be around the world, and you can probably count on one hand the number of fuckwits that you meet when you're involved with rugby. So you can be at war on the field with them, but you come off and have a beer afterwards, and you're all good mates. And I've met a lot of good people. I've got a lot of good mates who I've played footy against, as well as with, and it was no issue. It was a no-brainer as far as we were concerned. Then we old boys struggled for a B team. We had that year, I think we had our B team turned out with 13 or 14 players a couple of times, and we were the best out of the three clubs. I think the St Joe's guys and Carry On had to default a few games. So the writing was on the wall. None of the clubs had junior grades, under 21s or 19s. So it was kind of a losing battle, and it was a no-brainer. I remember the meeting we had over there. It was unanimous. I think there was 75 to zip voted to amalgamate. And I know over here, I think they might have one dissenter. He might have been an old fellow that was propped up in the corner who wasn't awake. Just wanted to put his hand up because he thought he was ordering a beer or something. So it was a no-brainer. And all the players wanted to do it. They were all for it. And I'm sure that, same with Kirian, I'm sure all the players are for it, but they probably wheeled in a few old fellas that had the same problem as the old St. Joe's fellas.
ordering beers.
So it was a no-brainer. It had to happen for the good of Morrinsville Rugby, and look at us.
I know, it's been a success. It's been an awesome thing. And what we found out is having Macca with a little bit of Scottish heritage going and playing rugby over there, we're a multicultural club too, because we've got the Dutch and we've got the Scottish, but I've realised both nationalities are renowned for being a little bit tight and tough for holding on to their money, but I know for a fact, Macca, that the Dutch must be a lot more tighter, because I know you've shouted a few beers around the rugby club over the years, and I don't know whether they have. So that's something we have learned. Right now, getting into I know you came over just finishing off your rugby career, and you actually played the first couple of seasons too for Morrinsville.
I did. Had a couple of runs. We had some reasonably useful players. You remember well as it turned out, my last game here. We played, I think we played Leamington down on number 1, and it was promotion relegation, and some fucker smacked into the side of my knee, which fucked it again. But we were reasonably lucky, because I think at that stage Waikato were pretty much the same as they are now, so they told their rep players that they either couldn't train during the week, or else they trained on the same night as the clubs played. So we had Dwayne Monkley sitting on the bench, so he replaced me. So I imagine the quality of the footy might have gone up a little bit then.
And I suppose at that stage, I know towards the end of the career there, I think you were using about 4 rolls of strapping tape on your knees to keep going, because anyone's looking for strapping tape would always look for where Macca was sat, because there'd be a couple of rolls sat there beside him. So from there, I know you moved into coaching fairly soon too, and had a number of years of coaching the seniors.
I think the first year after I stopped playing, I coached the 21s here, or I might have had a year off, I can't remember, it was that long ago. Coached the 21s for a year, and that was a bit of fun. We struggled for some numbers initially, but the boys, we had a good time, and still keep in touch with a lot of those boys who are now friggin' probably late 30s or early 40s maybe. There's a couple of fellas that were a bit old, but, and then kind of progressed through there. Did them for a couple of years, including our current senior A coach, Dame Warren, started at under 21s with us, and then progressed really up to the seniors for the next 3 years, I think, with Kevin Cronin. Good learning curve, awesome coach. And man, he should have been coaching Waikato around that stage, I think. He would have done a great job there. Learnt a lot from him, and we were fortunate enough to get recruit some reasonable players as well. So I think that was kind of the start of the club taking the step out of
promotion relegation.
Promotion relegation
to
being competitive
in that top 4 or 5 teams. And then I know you've been roped back into, once you stopped days, into coaching 21s, and have you done 85s as well? Or?
So after that 3 years with Kevin, I did 2 years with Paul Williams. And that was probably 5 years. That's long enough in a senior A position. So stepped back and wasn't going to do anything, but Lucas, I believe, and a couple of others at that stage organised an under 85 team. So they were struggling for a coach. So I said, I'll come and give you a hand. And myself and Paul Goose did that for 3 years, I think.
Won a
2 championships. The first year we lost in the final to the mighty Green and Whites from Marist. They were pretty excited about themselves, but then we learnt from that and beat them the next year. And won the year after that too. Cool. So we had a good group of players there. And then I think you had a year off, and then back to 21s.
I know, cool. So, I know you're involved in the club and other forms too. What else do you do around the trips?
Up till this year, I've been on the committee probably, or up till last year.
Yeah.
I've been on the committee, so probably since amalgamation, I've been involved with the committee in some area or another.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a big job doing that and giving that full justice as well as coaching. So.
And running a business.
And that as well, and a family. So I think probably a couple of years ago I said, no, I'm not doing any more committee stuff. So we've got a great group of guys on there, and there's some young fellas on there now coming through. Yeah. We need some more young guys to step up and put their hand up and be involved there. But
cool. A little bit on this season. How the under-21s tracking on this year?
Oh, we're doing all right. Our results probably aren't as good as the effort the boys put in.
Yeah.
Before COVID, we were tracking really well. We were fit. We were working hard. We'd had a couple of pre-season games, and we were looking quite good. And then we had 6 weeks, or no longer than that, probably 8 weeks off, without knowing whether we were coming back or not.
So you think they might have done a bit too much Xbox and PlayStation training?
I think, and a few handles of piss training. So it was kind of like starting from fresh again. And we lost a couple of players through that as well. Yeah. So we started right. We've been competitive with every team we played except for Leamington. They gave us a real good stuffing that day. Yeah. But we played poorly and they played really well. So we learned a bit from that.
Okay, in the 21s this year, any characters that spring to mind?
All of them are characters, mate. 21-year-olds, they think they know everything. There's the quiet boys who say nothing. Our skipper, Brad Lumens, he's the old quiet achiever, but every now and then he comes out with something that you go, holy shit, what is that about, bro? Yeah. Good boys, good crack. They're all quite good mates. They wind each other up. They give each other a bit of hard time. No one that really sticks out. They're quite a tight group and they're a bit of fun.
Yeah, good work.
Yeah.
Here's maybe a hard question I don't know, but you've played rugby for a long time. You've been involved in coaching now for probably 15 to 20 years. Do you find that there are any differences between, say, players when you were playing and players you're coaching today?
Hell yes. Hell yes.
Yep. And in what ways?
I think, without wanting to put down any of the current players, I don't know that they are quite as mentally tough, perhaps, in a lot of respects, at club level maybe, as what a lot of the players that I played with were.
Yep.
And that probably comes down to the fact that when I was playing, I was lucky enough to play with and against All Blacks and NPC rep players, and you measure yourself against that.
The format was different back then, so there wasn't the Super Rugby or the professionalism.
No.
So all your NPC and All Blacks were actually involved in club rugby.
Club footy, Often we would play, or Northland would play on a Saturday and we would play club footy on a Sunday, and those Northland players would turn out for the club. I don't know that would. Well, I know that definitely wouldn't happen now because those rep players wouldn't be allowed to turn out for the club. But equally, I don't know that some of them would want to because I might hurt myself and put myself in jeopardy.
They're more worried about the money. And losing their income possibly.
Yeah, possibly. As opposed to the money.
As opposed to doing it because they love it.
Yeah. And I think generally your club players don't have the opportunity to play against tough players to go, oh, that's what you've got to do. If you want to be any good, you've actually got to do that. You've got to play through a bit of pain.
That's right.
And
I think too the rules have changed over the years.
Yep.
So that in your era, you actually had to be quite physically and mentally tough to play the game, because if you weren't, you were sort of found out.
Absolutely.
Whereas now the rules are changed, so it's more of a safer game.
Yep.
It's the dirtiness of the game's pretty much almost gone.
Yep.
So it's not as you don't have to be as mentally as tough as possibly you had to be back then.
No. I think you're right. I think that, and I think that's a big thing. I think players today are probably more skillful.
Yeah.
Probably fitter-ish, maybe. I don't know. I do remember doing a lot of friggin' running. And 10Ks was pretty comfortable. I don't know how many of the players here would do 10Ks in the middle of rugby season.
No, well,
just for a run on a Sunday.
Yeah, well, so they've got to do a lot more time training now in front of mirrors, don't they? So that's probably another difference.
Possibly.
Okay, you've been at Morrinsville Sports since conception. Along the way, have you got any highlights or things that stick out to you?
A lot of highlights. Highlight obviously was these guys winning the championship. Or you guys winning the championship in 2009. That's a huge highlight for this club. But as well as that, the under 85s have won it 4 times maybe. Under 21s have had 2 wins. The Bees are always there or thereabouts, and with a bit of luck this year they'll win. They'll win that championship. They were unlucky last year not to win it, I think. So all those teams, that's a highlight. Just being involved with good people. Like I said before, I've probably been around the world. I've played a lot of footy. I've been all around. I've been to a lot of other clubs. You don't meet very many fuckwits in a rugby setup, and there's a whole lot of good people here. And just having a beer with them, and that's a highlight for me.
What about funny stories? Any memorable bus trips, court sessions, or characters along the way?
I do remember a bus trip where we came home and one of our number fell down between the seats and got jammed in there and couldn't get out for a long time, like a turtle stuck on the back. Until the bus driver got a bit shitty, then we had to actually do something to get them out. But that was quite amusing. I can remember playing down here, and I'm not sure whether it was when we were amalgamated or just before that when I was playing for Old Boys. I can't even remember who we played, but it was some tough, niggly, probably good old country team like a Alpo or Te Awamutu, Marist or something like that. So there's a bit of fisticuffs and a bit of pushing and shoving. And the game was quite tight, and we worked a good move, and we got the ball away to our buddy speedy number 6, Robin Broomfield at that stage, who scooted off down the line. There was no one in front of him. He was charging for the line, and we were all going, yes, because this is going to win us the game. Gets 10 metres out from the line and turns around and gives the opposition the big old which they hated. We all fell around laughing about. Went on to score the try, and the referee awarded the try, then penalised him back at halfway for being a smart ass. Absolutely hilarious. And good referee. Referees that play,
He probably got away with a lot of stuff they didn't get penalised for anyway.
Absolutely.
And speaking of characters, he's another one I know, good mate of yours that actually run quite a few of those bus trips that you were on, and were led to all sorts of strange, weird and wonderful places. And he's another one, like guys you mentioned about before, still comes down to rugby club on Saturday and still enjoys having a beer with you. Fantastic. Okay, just I don't know if you've thought too much about the next year ahead. What does it hold for you? Do you think you'll still be in a coaching role?
I'm hoping not. I'm thinking I've done that. I've done this for 5 years or so, and I know the players change, but they probably need a fresh voice. So I wouldn't be doing it this year, except we couldn't find anyone to do the job. Leg rope Roger Wilton, and him and I have done it this year, and we've had fun. It's been good. It's just hard yards. When you weren't prepared to do it at the start of the year, so I'd like to think there's someone else. I'll still be involved with the club in some respect, in some way or another, but hopefully not coaching. Hopefully come down to watch the A's and the B's and 21s and 85s and watch and support them.
Well, it might be a good time to put a plug out there for any coaches wanting to coach under 21s next year.
Under 21s, under 85s and B's. That's what we're looking for next year.
That's pretty good. Well, I know, Amaka, that you've done heaps for the club over the years. You've put time and effort into it, and also as a businessman, you're a sponsor. And I know without people like you, clubs don't survive. And I know everybody appreciates everything you've done here, and you just keep putting in year after year after year, and it's bloody awesome. And thanks heaps for coming along tonight and having a chat.
Good. Awesome.
Right.
Good.
Cheers, Amaka.
Thank you.
All right.